champagne or rum, achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. I am Christina T. Johnson, your next door miscarriage and baby loss coach. I'm here once again on our fortnightly show with my wonderful superstar by the name of the godfather of LinkedIn, formerly audio, but these days LinkedIn Live series, any Osung. There's nobody else that does it like he does. Anyway, where are you? Show your faces. Show your faces. So, thank you for being here and welcome to yet another thought-provoking episode. You're muted, any thought-provoking episode.
I'm hiding from you, Cristiano. They can't hear me, they can't see me.
You're hiding. Do not hide, Eddie. Come to the front. Look, just come here. Come closer.
No, I refuse.
Come closer. You know, I was on Paulette's show earlier and I heard when you were talking about changing to grey. It made me tickle so much. It's a little bit like when you drink too much carrot juice. You change color, right? So it was the same thing. But on that note, I know, guys, if you just tuned in, this is not about AI show. It's the Miscarriage and Baby Loss live show, okay? But I didn't have the opportunity to express myself on the Mental Health Cafe show earlier today. And I just want to make this point. I completely am in agreement with you, Annie, because where do we draw the line? If we are looking at having robots as our companion, you know, I say robots, AI, let me be specific, AI robots as our companion, where do we draw the line? And my thing is always the safety. The second thing is it's a human being that programmed these devices. I call them devices because that's what they are effectively. These devices, right? So if we can take the time to program devices, why can we not take the time to get to know our neighbors? And what I was going to say on the show before I got kicked off, by the internet was this. This week, I read a case about a 15-year-old boy who had stolen a loaf of bread and was taken to jail, taken to court. The owner of the market wanted to really press charges against the 15-year-old boy. And when the judge asked the question, Judge Cartwright, I believe his name was, asked the question, why did you steal what you stole? His mom was sick. So he wanted to help his mom stay alive. Okay. And as we know, bread is an essential commodity when it comes to food and eating. For decades, centuries, we've been using bread. Okay. I mean, they're not as good as they were used to be back in the day, but nonetheless, it's a survival, an essential part of some people's staple diet. So the judge made a point that I completely love when he said that truly, we as human beings, it was all about humanity. His judgment was about humanity. He said, we have failed this young child if he has to go and steal a loaf of bread to keep his sick mom alive. So I'm going to go back to what we were talking about, AI and mental health and having to have companion AI robots as companion. When we can begin, or not even begin, we can continue rather to exercise our humility for one another. Okay, when we were made and when we came to this earth and when God made us, he didn't bring robots and AI, he brought humans. So where do we draw the line? Anyway, I digress. But back to Miscarriage and Baby Loss show. If you haven't met me before, you don't know who I am. I am Christiana T. Johnson. I'm founder of moving forward post miscarriage, soon to be baby loss 360. And so I'm here like your miscarriage baby loss auntie that gives you all of the hints, tips, and conversations. I think over the past year and almost year and a half, conversations that are thought provoking, conversations that make you sit up and listen. And I'm so privileged and blessed that we have a community that continues to support us, continue to show up, for this space, for this show. And it is a judgment-free space. So we welcome you if it's your first time here, whether you're live with us or you're watching the replay. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for reposting and sharing. We absolutely love you and cannot wait to interact with you. Please take the time to join us live on our stage. Should you feel comfortable to do so, you can, remain behind the scenes away from the camera if you want to. And the last thing I'm going to say is that before we begin the show, if you are showing up as LinkedIn user, as I often do, as LinkedIn user on your comments in the comment section whilst we're live, can you please write your name next to your comments, so as you pop up live, we can see and know who you are. Thank you. That's my spiel for the show so far. I'm going to pass the mic back to Annie. Annie, over to you.
And there I was relaxing, having an easy day.
How would you relax?
Say our YouTube friends are here. Let me try and make sense of your names, my friends. Adriana, welcome.
Hi, Adriana, welcome.
LinkedIn hasn't quite connected yet, so it was like, oh no, is that OG? Okay.
Mike Jordan.
Okay. Yeah, they do have funny names on YouTube. So,
Jacko, okay.
It could be Sue.
Jacko Sue, Molly Sue, okay.
Yeah, so welcome all of you. So of course, our LinkedIn friends, so we know you're here. So do
welcome. Sorry guys, I'm literally baking hot this evening. Hence the fan.
How comes? It's cold.
I need to put my heating off.
Yes, you turn the heating off for way too long, Christiana, right? Okay. No, I guess you get to pay the price.
This is true. Yeah. It's very true.
It's very hot. Look, I'm having fun. Today is a great day. So I'm about to publish Encore Reset workbook.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
I love that.
The new author, Dr. Paula. I think it looks like we're hoping to launch the book in December, so before Christmas, which means a lot of work in terms of making the book an international #1 bestseller.
Yes,
that was exciting.
As you do.
Yeah,
as you do, Annie. Mm-hmm.
I always do. So I'm excited. I'm excited. But it's like anything that's called work. Now you have to take it. I have to take it seriously. Mm-hmm. I think I say the fact that I have this 100% record of making my friends #1 bestsellers means I have to.
I agree.
Switch on. I've got nerves and excitement to the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I should focus. I should first get the book published. So I finished the layout today. I'm going to create the cover tonight, and then run it past my client, and then upload it, and then do it. I know, of course, we have to order the proof copies, right? And I say I should get the proof copies to see in print, and then once that's finalized, then we'll begin to do our pre-launch events.
Yes, I'm taking it. The editing's already been sorted out.
It's a workbook, so she didn't really have an editor as such. There's a book. There's an Encore Playbook, which is the book that accompanies that to. That's the book that this workbook accompanies.
Okay.
And so I said that was done without me. So I'll leave that alone. So this now is a workbook that I came in on, and one that I would say we're going to make a #1.
Yay!
Excitement. Now, I've got Yolanda's book to finish as well, but that's another whole.
It's an exciting time. especially
Yeah.
for Christmas. That must be. I mean, I will say to you, no pressure, but I know that with you, that it's a walk in the park. A walk in the park,
you know,
Eddie.
if I could just work day and night, then I'll get everything done, right? The problem is that I fall asleep every so often. You call it a nap.
How dare you?
I get tired. I do actually get tired.
How dare you
Yeah.
fall asleep?
But we try, Christiana. We try.
You can't just fall asleep like that. It's not allowed.
Because
Anyway,
as you know, I'm doing my work on across the country as well. Yeah, so
yes.
I'll have to leave home sometime to go on my travels to undo my I guess my family work. That's what I call it. So busy
Yes.
times, but I think we're here to do right. Here to create genius.
We are
I'm
here indeed to do that.
put the effort in. But no, of course, your show is one of those that we can't leave, that we can't not do, right? Yeah. So here
Can we
we are.
not?
No, I mean, what is a cold uterus? I mean, that's nice. So you and I were joking earlier. Is it like a gold uterus? No, it's not. Clearly not, right?
What?
No, it's a derogatory term. That's what I figure, right?
Well, you know, I always okay. So remember one of our shows. I don't know if you remember this. We did a show once, or in fact twice, about the terminologies in the gynecological space and a reproductive space. And you know how I love, really wanting our healthcare practitioners to keep things plain and simple.
Hmm.
So this cold uterus is kind of the same on par with when someone says, "Oh, incompetent cervix." I'm thinking, why don't you just be quite literal, be specific? But in terms of cold uterus, it isn't something that is the Western. It isn't a Western concept, right? It's really more a Chinese medicine and traditional Persian and Chinese medicine and concept. Okay. So for those who are based in the West and who are, Western medicine based, please don't hang me to dry. Don't hang me to dry. I like to bring things to this show that are different, especially this space that I'm in, that I occupy, that I house. Anything that is kind of outside of the norm, I like to really, it intrigues me. And the reason why I brought this is because it does intrigue me. And I really wanted to understand. When I first heard the words cold uterus, I said to myself, okay, is it the thing of when we say incompetent cervix, is there a literal meaning, a literal explanation for this? Or is it is it somebody just being, I don't know, crazy? So it is not within our space as Westerners, but rather it's in the space of Persian, Chinese medicine space, and to really put a word on it, the term refers to temperament or pattern of symptoms, which really associate themselves with poor blood flow and a non-responsive uterine lining. So again, why is that? And people are probably asking the question, why does that connect with the work I do, miscarriage and baby loss? It's because when you have poor circulation, when you have non-responsive uterine lining, you got to think about the implementation stage of becoming pregnant and carrying a baby to full term, right? In the absence of that, there's a risk of a loss, right? So when I saw the word cold uterus, I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this about? What words? So I would liken it to the same things like incompetent cervix and hostile womb and all these names that, our healthcare people like to give us. But really, it simply just means that you've got poor blood flow and non-responsive uterine lining, okay? Which in turn really can hamper. But the Chinese have a different way of looking at it. It's cold. It's cold because you go through things like your cold feet, go through things like your hands, and there's a lot of external external consequences that happens, right? So that's why I want to speak about it today, just for us to bring something different to the show and get you guys thinking about it. So now you've heard what I've said. I'm wondering, do you have any questions or do you have any comments? And by all means, if you've experienced it or have a different perspective or have some knowledge on it too, come and share with us. We're always open to hear you, to listen to what you've got to say. And you know me too, I like to look at like stats. The one thing that this really affects, and those that it does affect, and the reason why we have infertility issues, people that go through, PCOS, so polycystic ovary syndrome, will have experienced cold uterus at some point. Okay, and so it's really important that when you are meeting with your health practitioners, is to really find out, is this happening to me? Could this be the possible reason why my implantation seems to seem not to be happening? Is it that again because I've been through it myself, not necessarily cold uterus, but a loss? You can really think to yourself, okay, could I have done something different? Could that be what I was experiencing? We'll go through some of the symptoms. We'll go through really what that looks like from a practical perspective, But before we do that, I'm going to say, if you're going through miscarriage and baby loss right now, please do not suffer in silence. Reach out. If you're on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me. If you're not able to reach out to somebody like myself, find a trusted friend, but also find a professional that you can speak with, that you can, get some help, get some support with. Please do not suffer in silence. I heard a couple of, stories this week and last week that has prompted me to remind those who are experiencing this trauma to not suffer in silence, because suffering in silence, you risk so much more of a danger, you risk so much more of isolation, you risk so much more of depression, stress, anxiety, mental health issues, so please do reach out to your loved ones, reach out to a trusted friend, but above that, reach out to professionals that can really support you and help you. And if you're not able, or if you don't know, which professionals can help you, reach out. If you're on LinkedIn, reach out to myself. I'm always happy to answer your questions. So that's my my advice for today when it comes to processing the loss of this nature. For many women, unexplained fertility challenges, and repeated pregnancy loss feels like a mystery with no clear answers. And so in Chinese medicine, we look at all our work so far as being based on Western medicine. So for me, when I thought about this, it was about looking at it, the root of Chinese medicine. And Chinese medicine, the idea of cold uterus has long been linked to poor circulation, hormonal imbalance, and difficulties conceiving. So again, when we look at PCOS, there is a correlation, a link to difficulties conceiving due to hormonal imbalances in the body. I'm not going to sit and try and give you medications or tell you about exactly what you can do about that, because that's not my remit, and I do not want to give people the wrong information. What I will say is, if you're experiencing hormonal imbalance, it's really great to talk to your physician, to talk to your doctor, to help you with that, and really get some tests done to check your FSH, and your just some blood tests to get as many tests as possible done, so that we can be clear as to what is going on in your body, because how you look on the outside isn't necessarily how you look on the inside. That's one thing I can say with confidence. So definitely get that checked out. While Western medicine doesn't use this term, right? Growing research shows that reduced pelvic blood flow, which again ties in with cold uterus, pelvic blood flow really has an impact. Low uterine temperature, poor endometrial, receptivity. And of course, this can influence fertility outcomes. This can influence, as I mentioned earlier, your implantation. And the key thing to you carrying, your baby to full term. Let's think about that for a second. What does that really mean? Blood flow, your womb, your circulation, and also what in that moment also is your menstrual cycle doing? Because we're going to think about your menstrual cycle. What is it doing when you are going through this? I wonder how many of you who are here, who are women, really monitor and check their bodies and are able to pinpoint, what your menstrual cycle is doing as in comparison to your hormone, your hormone imbalances, and how it manifests itself. How does it show for you physically? How does it show up for you physically? Do you experience cold hands? Do you experience cold feet? Do you experience literally shivers? How do you experience, your menstrual cycle? So again, it's that thing of having to look at Chinese medicine from that perspective.
Mama,
Sorry, folks.
An active kid. Let me welcome Dr. Lisa.
Oh my God.
While
Sorry,
welcome,
your nephew's
Lisa.
here.
Yeah, well, talk to him. You can talk to him. Of course, my friends on
Sorry.
YouTube, please like today's video and comment on the video. Of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. We all needed numbers, right? Maybe you're all superstars. You've all monetized YouTube. I love your help. Of course, your watch time counts. So thank you for joining us. And of course, if you comment and engage, more people will get to see our video and our event today. Dr. Lisa, Dr. Lisa is our menopause specialist. So I get all the best jobs in the world. I get the best gigs, right? I get to spend to work with, at least showcase, highlight people who are doing important work. So much like miscarriage and baby loss, menopause is a thing we don't talk about, but Lisa's here and we talk about menopause every 2 weeks. And their show's on Tuesday, unless I'm deeply mistaken, which I may well be. I do forget myself every so often. I see you to Liana. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully, you two are enjoying maybe all of you, especially American for ones who are here, are enjoying your Thanksgiving celebrations. I would love a turkey, but we don't get to celebrate Thanksgiving in the UK. Yeah, I think we should. And I say now I understand that it's about being grateful and really offering thanks for the good things in life. I think the world over should celebrate Thanksgiving really. But I don't know how we couldn't necessarily survive Thanksgiving because Christmas is coming so soon. Christmas is when we eat turkeys, when we do our big annual celebration. So Americans are going to have two. Well, no, I would say two. They're going to have 3 events. There's Thanksgiving today. There's Christmas on 25th of December. Then you have New Year's. So here, we'll celebrate New Year's and Christmas bigger than anything else. So glad you're here. We've planned my life already, so in that moment there. Anyway, I think we should celebrate Gratitude Day for the rest of the world because we have a lot to be grateful for, right? I can't talk about cold uterus because I think it's just Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around it. Now, if you say someone has a cold uterus, is that a good thing? Or it's not a good thing, clearly, because like as Christian is explaining, it's about, I guess, having restricted blood flow to the uterus. Okay. Is there a better way to say that without saying cold uterus?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm learning that there's many things that we can say better
Oh
when it
yes,
comes on this topic.
I can write a whole book on that, Annie. All of the things that we can and how we say them better. So sorry guys, I'm back. When you have a tiny child, this is what happens.
Yeah.
They do not understand the I have a show right now. It's I want what I want to right this second, and you must fulfill my request. In this case, I've sent him to bed. So yes.
Let's see
Anyway,
if that works, shall
oh,
we?
it's going to work. It works every time.
You know, I say, Liana, I agree with you. Every day today to be thankful indeed.
Yes.
So
Welcome, Liana. Nice to see you here.
every time we have
And
to celebrate
happy Thanksgiving.
So I think the last one was celebrating Men's Day.
Yes.
And I thought that can't be legal.
Why wasn't it be legal?
Because people want to celebrate men and they want to denigrate men instead.
We celebrate women. Why can't we celebrate men? It's International Women's Day, 8th of March every year. It's a big deal. Why can't we not celebrate
Yes,
men?
but no one I know celebrates men.
I do.
I mean, what did you do? Have a turkey?
Turkey? No.
A
Dear.
drink?
I don't have a turkey.
Did you have a moment where you said, "Oh, there's great men in the world"?
Yes.
You did.
Oh, I did,
Did
absolutely. I celebrated the men that were alive first, and the men that are no longer with us that were in my life previously that really made a positive impact, that truly gave me some things in life that I hold on to this day. So for me, it's really important. I made phone calls saying Happy International Men's Day. You know,
I think as Leanna says, so all these things we celebrate. Women's Day, I guess Baby Loss Day, Miscarriage. We say we have all those things for Fertility Day, Fertility Week. But these things we should celebrate these things all year round. Surely, I'm sure we do.
Every day, I think let's not get hung up on the dates, right? And the days. We do that on a daily basis. As long as you're a living, breathing human being, you're going to celebrate things, right? You're going to celebrate things also for those of us who have men in our lives, people in our lives. As long as you have humans in your life, not the AI bots that we spoke about earlier. As long as you have humans in your life, you will have something to celebrate about. Celebrate and be thankful for and be grateful for.
I can't wait till they have an AI day.
No,
you know they're going to introduce it sometime, right?
Annie, no, I'm just telling you now.
No,
I will leave. I will go and live in Mars. I will leave Earth. I will find Mars and stay in Mars.
Give it a couple of years. I bet there'll be International AI Day.
Okay. I'm just going to say.
The day when we dance around our devices. Like computers, for the sake of it, right?
That is so wrong, Annie, on every level. I don't understand.
I know. You don't convince me.
I don't understand why. It's so wrong on every level.
The serve purpose, Cristiano. The serve purpose, right? Yeah.
Do they? As I mentioned, it's humans that create these things. But hey ho, I digress.
Let's talk about terminology and cold uterus.
Yes, I think.
So the one thing you didn't do was say how you really help. You said, if you are experiencing challenges, to get in touch with me. But you don't have to explain.
Sorry. Yes, I'm going to be honest. That's the bit that I don't do very well. Even though I do it behind the scenes, I'm not good at promoting myself, I guess, or promoting the work that I do, even though I do the work. So how do I help you? I help you to gain some clarity and to build your confidence to go back out there and to continue on the journey. What does that look like? That looks like me getting together with you, first having an explorative conversation and meet you where you're at, and then we can look at what we need to put in place for you, whether that looks like a daily task, something for you to do on a daily basis, whether it looks like, even so for some people, they're not able to really speak to their loved ones yet. It's helping them to be able to break the news. It's also helping them to navigate their work environment. The other, and this is for women, men, and couples. I also work with organizations and companies to really help them to support those who are experiencing this trauma. Because when you have, a baby loss or you have miscarriage, it doesn't just end there. You have to then go into work and face the music, so to speak, especially when you have colleagues who were aware that you were previously pregnant, and now you're returning to work with no evidence. That can sometimes be difficult, but then your colleagues may struggle or may not know what to say to you, may not know how to be around you. And so me coming into your work environment, your workplace, is to really help, your workforce to understand how to adjust to your new news and how to support you in place, whether that be, putting policies in place that are effective so that you can say, hey, this has happened to me. And also to foster a space where speaking about miscarriage and baby loss is not a taboo subject. It isn't, a scary thing. I help companies to normalize these types of conversations, because at times they are stuck for what to say or how to approach. In my experience so far, it is the approach that really, for me, I believe companies do get wrong, not because they are being inhumane or because they don't want to help you, but because they're not sure how to, And I must say that in recent, months, I'm seeing companies more and more wanting to take away the fear, and engage with people like myself, engage with this topic, so that is not so much of a taboo. So that's what I do. And thank you for the question, Annie. Yes. So on both sides, I give clarity. I help you to gain clarity and confidence so that you can move forward on your journey. And if you're an organization, you can also move forward and put effective practices and best practices when it comes to miscarriage and baby loss in place. So yes, back to the room with our beautiful topic, today. Once again, if you just joined us, we are Miscarriage and Baby Loss LinkedIn Live, and also going on to YouTube. If it's your first time, please let us know, speak to us, tell us where you are joining us from. And if this is on replay, also make comments in the comments, let us know if it's your first time or if you have any comments to add to this. I come here, I don't know everything, but I try and come with the things that I do know and the things that I can talk about. Some of it thought-provoking, and so there are always opinions that come my way. Feel free to put your comments and opinions, and if you have a sound knowledge or practice of perhaps the Persian or Chinese medicine in this, please speak, comment, get in touch, let us know. We are always happy to have a different perspective on all our discussions. So now, please don't forget, I've mentioned earlier, if you're showing up as a LinkedIn user, please do put your name next to your comments, and we'll definitely welcome you on board. Thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us continuously. We cannot do this without you guys being here. So I, for one, and I know Annie does, appreciate you guys being here. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, not just like and watch, but actually do subscribe. And we are ever so grateful. Thank you so much. So, Annie, we're back to our cold uterus conversation. So, you said, I can't remember what you said something, and I couldn't kind of remember what you said, Annie. You asked me. Did you ask me a question, or did you say something about it?
was pondering whether there's a better way to say what you're trying to say without using the words, you have a cold uterus.
So effectively, what we're talking about here is a uterine lining that has just poor blood flow to your uterine lining. Okay. And so maybe we can use those exact words. You know me, I'm being quite literal when it comes to the use of English language, especially in this space, given that we have so many, in my humble, perspective and belief, so many outdated language that still exists in this reproductive space. And so I'm always forward and center in us learning how to use different terminologies, different words, different exchanges. That means that we do not leave people feeling quite doomed, especially when they're already going through stressful, situations. They have anxiety happening. They have, really negative mental health or mental state of mind, and then to read something that puts you further, it's like putting the nail in the coffin, so to speak. And excuse the expression, but that's what it feels like. So it's really important that we find other words. And I agree with you completely, Annie. How about we say poor blood circulation or poor blood flow to your uterine lining, right? Or we can shorten it. Lack of blood flow to uterine lining. So it's that lack of blood flow that we should be talking about, as opposed to cold uterus. I guess when you think about the words cold uterus, it does stop you in your tracks, because I know for sure it stopped me in my tracks. I thought, what does that mean? Why are we still using such a, I suppose, jaded language that jars you? That jars you. And so, we're here to discuss this, And when you think about it, it's a concept, when it comes to Chinese medicine, it's a concept that you have a yang deficiency. You know how the Chinese medicine is based on yin and yang balance. So effectively, what that means is there's an imbalance in your system, hormonal imbalance to be specific, in your system, that may be causing your cold uterus, or the lack of blood flow to your uterine lining, which is, we also know now as to be cold uterus. So how does that sound for you, Annie? Is that a better description? So a better wording as opposed to cold uterus?
It's mildly better. I think mildly better. I mean, so I mean, it just leaves you stumped, right? Is there a solution? Is there treatment, Christiana? That's a question, right?
So it's a good question, and research shows that there is treatment. And when it comes to Chinese medicine, the Chinese are renowned for, their natural homeopathic medicines, and being able to identify something and find the right way, to treat it. Oops. Sorry, folks. My apology. I'm not sure my phone is ringing right now. Okay. I'll do that later. Let me silence the phone. So yes. So when I think about the Chinese medicine, is one that there's a balance. It's about a balance. Yin and yang, as we know, it's been centuries of alternative medicine in comparison to Western medicine. Hence the reason why we hear about this, not in the West, but in Asia. So the first thing to say actually is this: the concept itself and the symptoms. I always try and speak about the symptoms so you're aware, and then we can talk about what we can do to really help this condition. And that is to say, some of the symptoms are cold hands and feet, painful or clotted, menstrual flow. And then you have low libido. It's another one. Fatigue. So you're constantly feeling tired. Fertility challenges or early miscarriage, within the Chinese framework. And also you have things like the cold slowing down your blood flow, and then your womb becomes undernourished. Okay, that is something they also look at. Your womb becoming undernourished, going back to your uterine lining, and how implantation can actually become difficult, which means that it then becomes difficult for you to carry a baby to full term. Western medicine parallels, when you think about it, while we're not talking about Western medicine today, and we see the same kind of similarities, and the way that we describe it over here is low endometrial temperature, okay, poor uterine blood flow, as I mentioned before, cold exposure, and stress. So again, we see that stress, where's the stress coming from? The stress area we're speaking about is your pelvic region. It can really affect your pelvic region. The circulation, the blood circulation towards your pelvic region can really be affected. That could also, this condition can also result in inflammation. So when we think about it, inflammation means that it's really difficult to implant, okay, to have implantation happen, because with inflammation there is that, I can say from my perspective, when I've gone from my scanning and having a look at my lining and inflammation, it's very difficult, because what happens with that is when you are intimate, you feel a lot of pain where there's inflammation around that area. And so sometimes it becomes really difficult, even for the journey. Even the journey itself becomes really difficult to be physical, to be able to then conceive. So those are the kind of symptoms and things that we should be thinking about and looking at when it comes to cold uterus, or other words is uterine blood flow, uterine blood flow, or the lack of uterine blood flow. So yes, so moving forward, again, we see that affecting anyone going through IVF treatment and you are experiencing difficulties. Check your uterine wall. I always advise that when you're thinking about going through IVF, get the body prepared first. So get your checks done, get your examination done, your ultrasound done, because it will show everything that you need to see within your reproductive organs and systems. And so it really helps for you to be able to understand and to know women who with higher uterine blood flow, blood flow really shows that they had research shows that women with higher uterine blood flow had 33 to 50% more implantation rates in IVF trials. Okay, so when your blood flow is flowing better, your circulation is better, you are more likely to implant and to carry your baby to full term. Whereas poor blood flow means that there's a risk of that not happening for you. Okay, so let's have a think about this for a second. How do we actually warm up the area? How do we warm up the womb? How do we warm up your uterine lining? How do we improve pelvic circulation? Because ultimately, that is the one thing that will help you to really help your uterine lining. That will really help your internal organs, in this region. And this is all based on Chinese medicine, as opposed to Western medicine, and Persian medicine, as opposed to Western medicine. The first thing is gentle movement. And you're speaking to somebody who is actually a qualified antenatal and postnatal nutrition and exercise, and person. I know for me, professional, and I know for me, I always used to advise my clients to ensure that they undertake gentle daily movement, whether that's walking, yoga, and pelvic massage. and also from the feet. So here's one thing I'm going to say to you. Two things: blood flow and how blood circulation can really help you. The first one is, yes, we have the heart. The heart is a great place, right? So it's a great place for us to have our blood pumping. Let's think about other regions where we can get our blood flow working. So we have the calf, we have just above our feet, our heel, on the inside of your heel. That foot, that space, the what feels like an arch, just above that, that itself, if you massage that, that really helps with your blood flow, because with that and our calves acts as a second heart, right? So when you massage yourselves, you can really activate your blood flow by doing that. It keeps you warm, it begins to pump, blood through the body. Another way of actually getting your blood flowing. So the second thing that Chinese medicine teaches us or tells us is that you could use castor oil packs with safety. So castor oil is quite good actually, because it does help with blood flow. It does tighten and contracts, that area. And we do need that. We do need the contraction for us to have a blood flow, to have, to keep us, to keep the uterine lining healthy. I think the best word
Really?
is healthy. Yes.
Really?
Castor
Like I
oil.
said, let me welcome James. How you doing, James? So
Hi,
James,
James. Welcome.
I went to meet James, a couple of times. First time I lost myself in my
Oh,
work. The
God.
second time I lost James.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We haven't met yet. So, the
You
castor
know
oil
what? You
conversation.
know what they say, any third time's the charm. So
Yeah.
third time will
Well,
happen.
so now James is here, I suppose that's more likely. I was thinking the other way. Maybe we're
Hmm.
destined never to meet.
Yes.
That's what I tend to think. If I arrange to meet you and the gods conspire against us,
Hmm.
I tend to say it's not meant to
No, it's
be.
not.
James is here, so we're halfway there, right?
We always say
Let's,
third time.
let's come back. Let's come
Three
back to your
times.
castor. Let's come back to your castor oil conversation, right?
Yes.
How you doing, William? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. You're
Hi,
American.
William. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome.
Hopefully you're enjoying
It's the
all
famous
that
William
Thanksgiving.
Rochelle. My goodness. Welcome. It's good to see you here. I've heard so much about you. You
Have
know,
you,
I
have you been to
have.
the shows? Have you been to his lives?
I haven't, not yet. So
Really?
not yet, no. But I will. I'm sure we will definitely chat, meet. William, feel free. I am happy for us to do so. But I've heard so much about you.
I say William gets close. He does many events. Yeah, and most days I think William is live. I say most. It feels like that, William, but I know
Hmm.
that's impossible to be, right? But
Well, it's so
it
nice to
doesn't
have you here.
so
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about this castor oil thing, right? This castor oil thing.
Yes.
So someone told me recently to drink a teaspoon of castor oil every day.
Hmm.
When I said, what does it do? No one could tell me, of course. And I think my research said that it helps your skin somewhat. It can help you have clearer skin. It can help your
Yes.
hair. I think, can it help your hair? I don't know. But literally, I haven't started yet, so I have no idea what the benefits are. That's the thing, right?
So castor oil has
You got William blushing, by the way.
so from a wellness perspective, castor oil has the benefit of tightening things, so, and moisturizing. You know, you've been asked to drink it. That will depend on what the complaint was first before they advise you to drink castor oil. Any castor oil can help your hair, definitely, because I use castor oil myself. It's good for the hair. It's good for your skin. It's good for our tissues. So castor oil is one of the best oil that the skin can easily absorb. Other oils is absorbed, but castor oil is if so long as you have the proper castor oil, because there's so many variations out there. So I tend to advise you to get organic, pure cold pressed castor oil. No blends, no additions, nothing, just a pure castor oil. So yes, it's funny you asked me this question. I was having this conversation just a few weeks ago about why castor oil is so great. And I can say for me personally, I do use castor oil on my skin, as you can see. Yes, I'm put oil sometimes for that glow, but I do use castor oil. It's my staple. And when it comes to the abdomen and reproductive area, it really helps to to strengthen your whole womb. It also helps to reduce and in some cases remove adhesions. So castor oil is really good for adhesions. I remember the reason why I started using mine. I discovered that I had so much adhesions in my abdomen, my abdominal area, my reproductive area before I had surgery and also after surgery, so that's the reason why for me, the Chinese medicine, they do advocate castor oil for you to use that. Castor oil press, there's a difference. I'm not here to tell you whether to use it or not to use it. It also depends on what you're currently using, if you're on any medication. And there's so many, I'll say, facets to how you use castor oil. Be mindful. If you are on your menstrual cycle, I would not use castor oil. The reason is because it impacts your blood flow to excessive bleeding. So I would not use castor oil during your menstrual cycle. Take a break, go through your whole luteal phase, and then you can start again. So yes, castor oil is it's one of those ancient powerhouses that no one really talks about. So there's my answer to you, Annie, with regards to the question. I hope that's helpful. The other thing we can use is warm compress, as well as heat pads. Then we look at also using hot water. Hot water is really good for blood circulation, for blood flow. So that's something that will help your reproductive regions. For women, especially for women, so let me just be specific. For women, especially, for women who do this already will understand what I mean and how helpful it is on cramps. When you that's one of the month you're experiencing cramps, really good for that. So yes, and also let's look at what Chinese medicine tells us about nutrition and how we can help reduce uterine or lack of uterine blood flow. Okay, which we're calling cold uterus this evening, as the topic suggests. So avoid drinking ice drinks, especially when you're trying to conceive. That's again Chinese medicine. Avoid drinking ice drinks, whether they are ice creams, cold foods, especially cold raw foods. But make sure that you top up on your iron, so iron-rich foods to support your blood quality. Again, when we have good blood quality, it helps us to maintain a good blood flow, which also then helps our uterine lining to be healthy, to stay healthy, so we don't experience cold uterus, according to TCM, which I'm going to call Chinese medicine. So yes, and one thing we need to do, as somebody who teaches exercises when it comes to pregnancy, is breath work, being able to breathe, being able to do gentle, soft exercises, pelvic exercises that's quite gentle on the body, nothing too strenuous, and warm baths. So anyway, speaking about how do we combat this condition, how do we help ourselves, how do we improve it? All these things are ways in which you can improve the lack of blood flow or poor blood circulation to your uterine lining. And also try to reduce the amount of emotional stress that you experience. Especially for women, it's so important that we reduce emotional stress that we experience when you're trying to conceive, when you are trying to, because the idea of this, yes, I'm speaking on miscarriage, but the reality is, once you've experienced miscarriage, and for those who are looking to try again, these are the things that you can be doing to help you ensure that your uterine lining is healthy. Because ultimately, we're looking for implantation. We're looking for implantation that remains, that stays, and one that we will not lose. Because it's very difficult as it is to begin with. Let alone when you have additional conditions that may adversely affect your chances of carrying a baby to full term. So yes, and understanding that your balance, your hormonal balance is so important. It really is important, because the last thing you want to do is have hormones that will work against you. For example, cortisol, which is good and bad. So it's about balancing. It's about balancing. How do we balance it? Diet can balance it. Rest can balance it. The right exercises can balance it. Taking time out, doing nothing, just resting the mind and the body. Because often we want to do things. We want to be busy, especially nowadays, we are busy forever in the day, right? So take the time to look after yourself, your self-care. Another thing you can do to help you is reflexology. So if you know a good reflexologist, go out and spend the time with them, book your appointment, and get a treatment done. What they tend to do is they will give you a course of probably 6 treatments, at least, to help you and to kind of really monitor what your body is doing and how you are, whether you're receptive or not. Okay, with this, it's not a one size fits all. Every single body is different, and so you must do what is right for you. I'm going to add this to say, whilst we look at Chinese medicine and the practice of Chinese medicine, I'm actually saying this to those who potentially are on medication or maybe on medication. Never ever ever take on a treatment or an alternative treatment without looking at or speaking to your healthcare practitioner, your doctor, your physician, whichever names you choose to call them. Check with them to ensure that you're not going to have, an adverse effect or a really bad side effect to combining the two. Okay, so I'm saying this out loud and clear. Please do take professional and medical advice before you embark on this journey. So yes, Annie, over to you.
William, thank you for your comments, my friends. I appreciate you immensely. William says, your glow is your spiritual light that emits from your soul.
Thank you.
That's what I see and feel, right?
Yes.
So William also asked, now, where are you on YouTube? So if you have a YouTube channel, do share it in the comments. I just shared mine. So please, William, now do like, engage. Watch the videos or just play them and like them and comment if you don't mind. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And William, please do share your YouTube channel as well, so we can return the favor, right?
Yes, do share. So I'm not yet on LinkedIn, on YouTube Live. That's the plan for the new year. I'm going to be joining YouTube finally, and I will let you know as soon as I.
Well, if you stream these events to YouTube, it makes a difference. So before these events, my YouTube was like, I would admit it was tumbleweed. There's nothing going on. I was putting videos there. I got hundreds of videos. Nothing moved.
Yes.
Ultimately, you need watch hours and you need people to actually subscribe.
Yes.
You need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Then you can monetize and get paid by YouTube.
Well, I have actually created my thumbnails for my YouTube channel. So as a start, I have. Yeah.
You haven't created a channel yet, right? Now, William,
I haven't.
Definitely go after the event. I will go. I'll watch some videos and I'll engage. Here's a good question for you, Christiana.
Mm-hmm.
How can your partner support you as you're working through having a cold uterus?
Okay, great question, William. So, how can your partner support you? The first thing is having a conversation. Okay. Sometimes it's difficult to, and I work with couples, so I can say this. Sometimes it is difficult, to really understand where they're coming from, because when they're going through this process, or this difficulty, or this challenge rather, it's difficult because you don't know 2 days are the same. A little bit like when someone is going through perhaps menopause, no 2 days are the same. So the way to support is to listen, is to really be able to listen without judgment, listen without interruption, give that time without any other commitments around, and also ask how you can help, what you can do to make their experience, better, lighter support, whether it be, massage. For example, I spoke about castor oil, treatment. Now they may want you to actually be the person to do the massage for them, be the person to help them on, really, really the body to absorb the treatment. You can go to appointments with them. You can ultimately, the best way forward is to have a conversation, communicate continuously, and ask your partner how you can support them, how you can help them, what you can do for them that will make a difference in what they're going through. And just be aware, be aware of how they are, be in tune. I'm sure you are already in tune with your partners, but especially when they're going through this, sometimes it can be quite daunting, stressful, emotional. It can be quite a negative place to be in, dark place to be in. So, and also when it comes to appointments, and I mean medical appointments, clinical appointments, take the time to write down questions. What is the question you want? What do you want to know? Because if you can go with them and ask those questions, now you have a great understanding of what's happening or what's going on. And so you can come home together and be able to support them even more. So, yeah, ask questions to answer your question. Thank you for the question, William. That was a great question.
Yes, I agree. Now, William, you're a star, my friend. Look, do connect with William on YouTube. That's his YouTube channel. So actually, go into that and watching some videos and engaging. So of course, I also appreciate it. So if you subscribe and share, we will need it, right? And let's support each other. That's what Community does, right?
We do.
So
We do need it.
Christiana, your hour is up, Christiana. You know that?
It is, and I'm so glad we are almost done. It's fine.
Have you got more to share?
I have so much more to share, but I think we the hour is good. The hour we are here was good. Mm-hmm.
And I said, my nephew needs your attention anyway. He's going
to bed.
Actually, going to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to bed. So, what a good lad.
Otherwise, he'll be back down here by now. If he wasn't, he's going to bed.
That's why I'm celebrating the fact that he hasn't come down yet. So he's doing well. No, look. This is one of our topics. I say we're here every 2 weeks.
We are indeed.
I'm well aware today, Thanksgiving has been a blessing as well as a curse, right? Most of our American friends are having their turkey as we speak, I'm sure.
They are, yes.
So that's fine. So those, if you're watching on replay, say hopefully you find the content useful, and of course, connect with us, connect with William, engage with our YouTube videos, and those who are watching on YouTube, so do just click on the video and then it play in the background, right? Look, you have to keep my phone on charge, otherwise it would run out of battery very quickly. Yeah, and do comment on videos that you see, and do come back again in 2 weeks' time. What's our plan over Christmas? Are we just doing the show every 2 weeks as we're meant to? No, I don't know what the dates are.
We have We have the 25th actually, but we're not doing that because we're going to be with families.
No, yeah, it's
So
not.
it will be
I
the
think that's Christmas Day.
no, same here. I'll do a broadcast, but not the show on Christmas Day. I'll be showing myself on LinkedIn on Christmas Day, but never mind. So
Will
we'll
you?
do.
Will you? How?
Yes, I've done before. You know, come out, do my video, do my live, and just say Merry Christmas to everybody, and be done. That's it.
You mean a post or you mean a live?
I will be doing a live.
Really?
Yes, it's a short one, not a long one.
How many join you typically?
Not many actually. So probably a handful. Some people kind of like pass by. So
Okay.
it's good. It's good.
That's
But to be fair, I didn't put it out there that way. But this year I plan on putting it out there.
Well, I think that there's people who do marathon events. So I think my friend is known for doing an all day Christmas event. So what they do it in 3 hour stints.
Okay.
So they have different hosts for 3 hours, and then it's StreamYard and they have 4 hours anyway. And in the audio days, we only have 4 hours. So
yes,
they work on 3 hour. What's it called? 3 hour rotas in that sense, which covers the whole Christmas day. So I've mentioned this. There was someone online.
I think there was something. There was something like that a few years back. If I think about it, we had a whole 24 hours.
Yeah,
and each person had a 3 hours or 4 hours slot. Without any hiccups, which is great.
Yeah.
So I will show my face Christmas Day.
It takes organizing.
It does take
organizing, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, you won't see me, my friends. Sorry.
I'm going to drag you out.
No, I'll be eating and drinking. That's the one thing I get to eat and drink.
You can come like and say Merry Christmas, everybody, and disappear.
I eat, I drink, I sleep, wake up, and do all over again. If I can do it 3 times on Christmas Day, I've done well.
I'm going to drag you out.
Yeah, okay. You come and find me in Cornwall. Fine.
I will.
I'll be in my living room downstairs playing my PlayStation. I've played the same game for a year and a half now. I played it last year.
The same game?
Yeah.
But are you that slow? I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't get enough hours to play. I should play it every day, but I haven't got time for that. And the fear is that when I start playing, I'll be there for a couple of days. So I dare not turn it on today, for example, because it means I won't be here tomorrow.
You sound like a teenager.
Yeah, that's what gaming does, right? You have to immerse yourself. You have to immerse yourself in it. And so I'm busy killing zombies, and so
of course you are.
like is very hard. But
so here's the thing about being in a situation with cold uterus. It's a good idea to keep some record of what's happening. The symptoms you're experiencing, what that looks like, how long it lasts for. I say all of this from the question that William asked, how can I support my partner? Means that you can actually have the record to explain to your partner, and if you're not able to speak with your physician, they can perhaps ask those questions on your behalf whilst you're at an appointment together. The physical symptoms, record those, and be rest assured and be reassured that you're not broken. Your body is just communicating with you. And really it is how you respond to that communication, what you do to feed that communication, and what you do to improve the symptom that you're experiencing, as opposed to being in denial or ignoring it or saying, oh, it's okay, we'll be fine, I'll be fine. There might be something more unique, I say, as opposed to sinister, more unique happening and more peculiar happening in your body than you may want to acknowledge or realize. So by taking journaling and doing all these things and keeping a good record, it means that you can track back. And once you move forward, you can always look back and look at your progress, but also understand your body better. Above all, it's about understanding yourself and your body better, and how it communicates to you. So that's one thing I want to say about this. Just really thank you once again for showing up. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. And as Annie said, our American friends are enjoying their Thanksgiving. I hope they're enjoying the Thanksgiving. And we'll hopefully see you guys in 2 weeks' time. And if you're watching this on replay, please put all your comments in. For the next show, Annie, actually, let me put it out there. Remember we had a conversation about men and women in this space of miscarriage and baby loss. So for me, the next show, I want us to explore what's stopping you to move forward after miscarriage or baby loss. Have you had any issues? Have you had any stress? Have you had any, blockages, any challenges that's stopping you from moving forward? That's one of the topics. The other one is, are you actually ready to move forward? Have you really embraced, allowed yourself to experience the grief, or are you in denial? And what environment are you creating to then create the baby that you move forward with? So that's just the thought of the topics that we are going to be exploring. Because again, I get this a lot. I get this types of topics where people have experienced miscarriage, and yes, it is heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching. As some would say, oh, well, that happened last year. I thought you'd have moved on by now. I always say it's not about healing. It's about moving forward on your journey. But some still remain in that position of not wanting to move forward or backwards, right? So my question is, what is it that is stopping you from moving forward? What is the challenge that you're experiencing? Is it fear? Is it judgment? Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it somebody else in your ear? And I'm speaking about partners here too, because people find themselves, and with the clients I've worked with, they find themselves in different circumstances, different situations. So that is something I'm going to explore in. And I'd like us to explore that. And I may ask for some professionals to join us and have this conversation. One such person in my mind is Dr. Yvonne, who talks about narcissism and how, again, the conversation and what came to light recently is how partners can really stop you in your tracks from moving forward, right? Whether it's male or female partner, it works vice versa, because miscarriage happens to both parties, not just women alone.
Indeed. It's interesting topics, conversations to come, right?
Yes.
Look, let's let our American friends go and enjoy their Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. That's
Thank you so much.
So,
we adore you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, enjoy, my friends. And thank you, Cristiano, as well, for always bringing it to the topics that are hard to talk about, but you make it normal to talk about these things.
We have to keep normalizing these conversations. Otherwise, they remain taboo. They remain frightening. We remain fearful, and the judgment continues. So thank you again.
We can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's see you in 2 weeks' time, my friends. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Celebrate it with or without champagne or rum, but she's success with Global.Media.